Standing in, accusing you, is Chimere Udok, the heir.
Yeah.
And he's accused Captain Tarin and his crew, which includes you, of being in league with hill giants that stormed his village.
Mm-hmm.
3 trials have already been conducted. You're the 4th. Tarin's, Orphan's, Zook's. You're number 4. Tarin, Orphan, and Zook have already been found guilty and put to death. They've already been crucified in the middle of Kiska in public view. Left hung out to dry. It's pretty awful. And you watched all 3 of these executions with very mixed feelings. Half of your form feels like good criminals deserve to be put to justice, but the other half is like you're not convinced. Like, you know that they must be guilty, and by extension you must also be guilty, but part of you knows very, very clearly that none of you are guilty of this crime. Like, you know for a fact. Like, somehow someone must have tricked you and your group into doing something you didn't want to do. But you still watch these 3 executions with the sensation that justice has been served. And so...
But is it really justice if they're not guilty?
The Udoks...
No.
Chimere continues to tell the story about how you all were in league with these hill giants, and you led them to the farm, and... you made sure that they made off with all their livestock, and then when they called you in to discuss recompense, you attacked them. And the story at that point in the dream veers off from what you remember. Mm-hmm. The story at the table was that very suddenly, and for no reason, Orphan leapt up onto the table, threw her arms forward, and blasted fire at the patriarch, at the mother and father Udok, and just killed them right where they sat. And immediately after, Tarin and Zook each fell on other members of the Udok family. And now Chimere is the only one who survived. And he tried to run, and he tried to leave. And as he did, he looked behind him, and he saw the Keyskin Wallwalker chasing him down. And he tripped and fell, and before he knew it, you were on top of him, just battering about the head, and you put your sword to his neck. And at that point in the story that he's telling, the Sanguine Serpents pulled you off. Mm-hmm. The question is why this is all being done in Keyskin jurisdiction is kind of muddy.
No, that's because that's all that Khalil knows.
It's in a dream sequence. And when he's giving the testimony, you remember, you think back, that's not how the dinner went down. That's not what happened at all. And that's the end of the dream. The end of the dream is they already have the 3 crosses in the middle of Kiska with your companions on them already hanging dead, and you're stripped of your clothes, and the hair is all shorn from your body, and you're hung out to dry on this cross and left there. And over a period of a couple of days, you eventually dry out and succumb to exposure, and you wake up. And the Dream Seer speaks to you when you go back and talk to Ferdak and Great Seer about this. And you're called in individually. Ferdak tells you, he says, I get the distinct impression that perhaps you do not want your companions to hear the contents of this dream.
No.
He says, the Great Seer has interpreted it for you. And he tells me that this evil thing of which you have been accused is a falsehood. And he tells me that this is something you've been wrestling with in yourself.
For months.
And the meaning of the dream is that if you continue to wrestle with this, if you continue to give in to these old feelings of guilt and accusation being the same thing, it will kill you. It will lead to your demise, and it will be very ugly. This is one way or the other. You need to let it go. This is either you must put aside this ideal you've been brought up to believe, or you must part ways with the Captain Tarin and bring him to justice. Otherwise, you will not know peace.
All right.
And he says, I caution you. I've come to know Captain Tarin a little bit. I know a little bit about where he's headed, what he's doing here, and I know him to be a good man. Him and Eldove and Orphan and Zook and the rest. And if you decide that these people need to face your version of justice, if you make this decision under my roof, I will stand against you.
My law has no place in this. It has no place here, so I see no reason why I would do that sort of thing.
Then my suggestion is to leave your law where you learned it. Leave it across the ocean, and let go of it. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Zook!
Well, actually,
Yes.
Sorry. After that happens, I would bring Tarin aside in private and tell him about the results of this.
Okay, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and play that out.
Khalil would look like very like all the color is drained out of his face, like, you know, not those like, oh my god, he's so scared he turned white. No.
By the way, this is a hot tub scene.
No. No.
Okay. Yeah.
And at this point, Khalil would confess that, yeah, I totally thought that you were in league with those giants, and I have no idea what to think now.
Well, I mean, I don't know what to think. I don't know. Again, it's so strange. The giants left the village alone for however long. I do have some guilt. I mean, I think we should have just thrown this damn stone in the river if we'd known how things had happened, but made the best of it that we could.
You know, we can't. I'm sorry. What's his name again? The monk. The Gizzerai.
Ferdak?
Yeah, Ferdak.
Ferdak. He said that I should put it behind me, and so, judging by that, it happened. We really can't change it, so just move on from that, I suppose.
Well, like I said, one day when I have some better idea of what to do, we'll go back there and we'll free those people. Just a question of how to set up the power system afterwards so they don't end up in someplace worse.
Khalil's response to that's going to be very important, because Tarin is talking about overthrowing the order of that village and freeing a huge group of lawfully owned slaves. So Khalil's response to that's going to be very important.
Everything Khalil has known, like, you know, like I said, he's barely been out of Kiska, and so that's like all he knows. So that's what, like, Kiska's system of law and that kind of thing. That's what's paramount to him. That's where his loyalty lies.
Okay. So what do you tell Tarin when he says that? When he says that someday you're going to go back and free all those people.
I don't agree with the way that those people were being treated at all. That's...
Like, is he at a loss for words?
He is kind of at a loss for words, yeah.
What does he think about the idea of going back and doing it? Would he be willing to support Tarin in that endeavor, or would he stop him from doing it?
He would support it because, like I said, the only thing he's ever known is Kiska, and that's his ideal. And if someone's not falling to that ideal, that's not cool in his eyes.
Okay. Now, is that it for you? You got to bail?
Yeah, I got to bail.
Okay, you need to erase your flaw.
All right.
And we need to devise a new flaw for you. Probably something along the lines of how Khalil's beliefs have been shaken so badly by this. How he's... Like a flaw, something along the line of, I tend to continuously second-guess myself. because now it sounds like every decision he's making and every action he's taking, he's not sure how to measure that against what he knew versus what he knows now.
Is he lawful neutral yet? For that matter, am I chaotic neutral yet?
Wait, when he becomes lawful neutral, walk back to the shop and that dude's gonna be real fucking confused.
Alright. Zook.
Alright, guys.
Yeah.
Later.
So yeah, you need to... Khalil, you can go ahead and level up, and you go ahead and make sure you think of a new flaw. You have overcome the those that are accused must be guilty flaw.
Groovy.
Zook!
Yes.
Roll initiative.
Roll initiative.
I shit you not.
Did you put some random shit out here in the?
I didn't do anything. This is a this initiative has the stink of banana all over it.
Not gonna name names here, but it was probably Nodal.
Hate all of you. I'm trying to roll, and then the table keeps moving.
How delicious was that banana?
Everybody move your shit off the table.
Hey, it's
Destil, you want to aim?
Hey, this is the only forest I have, okay? So, this is what we're using.
Brick, I'm sending
Yes,
you
yes,
an I am
yes.
with my dream.
Okay.
Come
My
on,
initiative is
Weldon.
13.
And that is officially the first character that has roleplayed through his flaw
Nice.
in the game. So we will replace Khalil's flaw with something... And then I think if we give him one more session and he doesn't do something very overtly evil, then that would cause him to change alignment. I'm going to run to the fridge and get some Pepsi.
Okay.
First I'm going to spawn in... I don't have stats for these guys, so I'm going to have to wing it. That's fine. I probably didn't need to say that out loud. It's okay.
Yeah, Destil, I'm in the same boat with you, where, like, if I don't start doing good shit pretty soon, I'm sliding towards chaotic neutral.
No, Tarin does lots of good things. He also does lots of evil things.
Yeah,
This
I don't know where the
is
hell
why
Zook
I
went.
always make sure to, once every few sessions, throw some tomatoes at a helpless dude or something.
You
Maintain
have to
my
reaffirm your
neutralness.
evilness.
Oh, you're
I'm
like
not
true neutral? You're just trying to maintain the balance?
I'm lawful neutral.
Your true neutralness. Your neutralness. It's a beige alert.
Tell my
Got
wife
some combat
I said,
dice.
hello.
Ugh. I think I was gonna have to fight.
See,
the
I
dice.
always had the impression that was apparently false, that neutral was a different thing from true neutral, and true neutral was like brilliant druids and stuff who are like actively trying to be neutral.
Yeah, and well, at least in Greyhawk, there's always been the idea of the true neutral as an active alignment that tries to counterbalance all the others.
That
Yeah.
kind of makes sense. Like, I had the idea of true neutral as something different than neutral.
Yeah, and then there's also neutral would basically, in my book, be unaligned.
Well, every alignment has that distinction, though. Like, there's a difference between lawful neutral because you revere law above all things, and lawful neutral because you actively try to balance law with a mixture of good and evil. Like, that's two distinctions. Like, alignment, there's more to each individual alignment than one personality type. That's a lot of people don't get about the alignment
There's
systems.
a lot of different types of Batman.
Right.
Yay! I got another sneak attack die last level too.
Okay, bear with me just 1 second. I gotta make some quick notes here. What was your initiative?
13.
13? What's your passive perception?
20.
Passive perception is 20.
Yeah.
The fire is
Please be
smoldering
goblins.
very
Please be-
lonely.
Please be goblins.
I gotta put a note here of which color is which, otherwise I'm gonna forget.
Put down their initiative. That'll help me too.
Valfak is yellow. Keluturn is green.
Fire. Would I be gathered around this?
Yeah, that circle there is the fire. It's not raging right now. It is, it's smoldered down, but it's your watch.
I watch.
Yes. And I gotta get the monster manual out. You hear some kind of movement. You figure you're a couple hours march from the wall. And You didn't march through the night. You stopped. Excuse me. You stopped here to for the nights. Let me find the monster here.
You hear movement and you smell banana.
Yeah. You hear a movement off in the bushes over here.
Okay.
I'm sorry, not over there. I got my directions. I got my east and west mixed up. Over here, from the direction of the wall, which is a few hours away.
Okay.
And that just means you're not surprised. You don't actually get to act first. Don't get greedy. Oops. Not saved objects. I don't like any of those. That'll work.
It only counts if it's. What the fucking hell is that?
Before long,
fuck.
Zook, you dead.
you see 3 heads poke out of the foliage, moving independently of each other. And in the light, they don't look like heads, like an animal at all. It looks like they're made of plants, like plant matter wound in and around itself, twigs and leaves poking off of all sides. And 3 of the heads poke through the foliage and notice you around the fire, and it notices that you notice it. And it immediately moves into strike.
Jesus.
Well, what's its movement here? 'Cause you saw it from here.
I can't believe Tabletop Simulator has a thing for this.
And before you can act, it zips in and reaches down, and 2 of its heads, actually all 3 of its heads, can bite. I need another D20. I've only got 2 D20s here.
You're not bringing that deer back home, Zook.
I'm really glad I remembered to up my armor class. AC is 17, by the way.
It's not attacking you.
Oh, of course it isn't.
You're
I
awake.
didn't manage to get out. Holy crap, you guys! Before this thing charged.
Nope. Well, yeah, you can, because you weren't surprised. So, I mean, you yell out, and the others start to wake up, and they're looking up and see this huge plant monstrosity, and it's made of wood and bark, and you see just vines and twigs and leaves falling off of its body as it moves, but it takes the form of this huge 3-headed dragon.
If only you were sleeping in some sort of tiny hut.
Yeah, if only.
I am totally taking Blight next level.
2 of these heads reach down and bite at Valfak, and you hear him let out this roar of a scream. Like he's reaching over for his bow, and one of the heads comes down, gets him around the arm. The other head gets him around the midsection and bites down really hard. The other head latches out at Kelutar and gets him around the arm, and they're screaming. Valfak is gone immediately. Like huge chunks of his flesh are torn off, and he's laying on the ground bleeding out. Kelutar is trying to wrestle his arm out of the beast's 3rd jaw. And now it's your turn.
This thing's made out of wood.
It's wood and plant matter, like intertwined around itself, giving itself the form of this dragon. The heads that are biting don't have any wooden elements. It all looks like plants and vines, but there's something sharp in its face.
My thought is to run into the fire.
That will hurt
Like,
a
not
lot.
into the- huh?
That
Not
will
into
hurt.
the fire. Huh?
That will hurt if you run into any of these 4 squares. It's smoldering. It's smoldering. It'll eventually ignite if you stand there for too long.
Okay, so that was my question: is there like a log or so? Is there like something I could grab off of it?
Yeah, you can grab one of the smoldering logs.
Like in one motion, because I have gloved hands, in one motion to grab a log and throw it at the thing.
Sure. Roll to hit.
What is my bonus on that?
Just your dex mod.
So that'll be a 15 to hit.
And you rear back and you wing this log, this smoldering log, and you hear a wet squelching sound as you hit it in the side of the neck, and the log falls to the ground.
Does not appear to ignite
Uselessly.
in any way.
Does not appear to have ignited it.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Zook is going to scream, "Run, you guys!" and bolt backwards, but he still has his eyes locked on it.
Okay. Ben is surprised. He's getting up. He sees the creature looming over him, and he's reaching around for his swords. And the creature goes again. All 3 of those will hit. None are crits. This time, 2 of the heads lunge down and bite into Kelutar. And that's it for Kelutar. His chest is torn apart. The 3rd head goes down and lunges at Ben. Ben tries to rear back and parry with his sword, but the thing clamps down and bites both of his hands, and he screams out loud, whips his dagger, or whips his sword around, and gets free of it. And it's your turn again.
Ben is still within melee range, no?
Ben is within melee range of the monster, yes.
Alright, well, then I'm gonna, from this hopefully safe-ish distance, shoot the damn thing.
Okay, roll it.
That is a, what is my bonus? That's a 15 to hit.
That hits.
That is gonna be a base of... it's not good.
Nice.
1 plus 6 is 7. So I actually gotta take notes when I do this now. I hope this thing is not as strong as it looks. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 7, 15 is 22.
How many arrows was that?
How many arrows was that?
That was just 1 arrow?
I mean, that's the way, yeah, the way it reads, it's just a sneak attack, so I get bonus damage.
But do you get an extra attack yet? Do you get
I
to
don't
fire
get an
2 arrows?
extra attack.
Rogues never get extra attacks because
Okay.
their damage comes from sneak attack.
So
Yeah,
you,
so
yeah,
it's
you
just one well-placed arrow.
launch this arrow at one of its heads. And, yeah, the arrow, you hear this wet squelching sound as it pierces one of its necks. And the head that tore Valfac's chest open rears back and roars. You've definitely dealt a meaty blow to it.
But just to the one head, like they have independent HPs, is what it sounds like.
I'm probably going to have to wing Ben's stats here.
And then Duke is going to actually take all of his movement. 1, 2, 8. He's going to kind of circle around this way and hope that the thing's going to away from them.
Okay. And I'm sorry, guys. Just bear with me 1 second. I was not expecting for Ben to have to be going to combat.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
This is what you can look forward to every 5 minutes in the next session.
I'd
Okay,
like to kill
I'm
a
sorry.
tar.
Where did you run to? Up here?
Hey, Zook has some healing potions.
I don't. I have no goddamn healing potions on me.
And the thing gets 3 opportunity attacks on Ben. Miss, hit, hit. When Ben sees you break and run for the tree line, and he sees that Kelutar and Vofak are dead, he turns and he tries to back away from the monster, and he tries to run at full tilt. And 2 of the heads quickly reach down and snap, snap, get around him. And you see them bite on him deeply, and he's grunting very, very loudly. But he breaks free.
So I just got back from the shower. How hard was that banana shoved up Zook's butt?
Pretty hard.
Pretty fucking hard.
Live by the forest, die by the forest.
He already killed 2 of the
two
best
Ben's sons are dead.
NPCs in this module.
No!
Zook.
Those guys were cool.
Zook, what's your
Yeah,
passive
they were.
perception?
Thanks,
20.
Obama.
20? Okay. What is
Thanks,
this thing?
banana.
Thanks,
Is
banana.
he killing the Rangers?
Aaron
No.
They're killing the Rangers.
Kill.
Yeah.
Past tense.
Guys,
Dead.
chill.
Okay.
Quiet. Zook.
Yes.
Ben takes these 2 bites in stride and breaks away from the monster and runs and disappears for a second behind this rock. You see him climb into this copse of trees here and hunkers down, and he's clutching his chest. The monster, you see two of the heads look up and around. Did you hide? Or are you just there? You just
I was
ran?
actually trying to draw him off of them, but so no, I actually ran.
Guess what? You get your wish.
That's fine.
I can't really tell what square he's standing on because he's so fucking big, but... Your AC is 17?
Yeah.
Okay.
Low rolls.
That's a miss. That's a hit. That's a hit. Zook.
Mm-hmm.
You can reduce damage from the first damage source, right? As a reaction.
It doesn't have to be the first one, but yeah, I can reduce by half on one of them.
Okay, two of the heads bit down at you. One did 10 damage, one did 8 damage.
Okay, so I'm gonna reduce the 10 by half, so that's 13. Or wait, by half 8. So yeah, that's
Okay, but that's a reaction, right?
that is a reaction.
Okay, so you can only do it against one. Okay, so go ahead and take that damage. And this monster, you see it, it's lost sight of Ben. And it sees you're still standing there, like waving your arms, like, hey, ugly, I'm over here. And it starts rearing off in your direction. It lashes down super quick with all three heads. The first one you slash away with your rapier, and you slash bits of vine and leaf out of its jaw. The second and third head both get bites in on you, and it stings. And you need to please make me a con save.
Oh, not good at those. Oh, that's not going to be good. That's only an 8.
That's an 8. That's not good enough. Take an additional 4 poison damage.
Okay.
And you lose 1 point of strength.
All right, hold on. Let me make a note of my max strength.
Actually, you're going to have to make that save twice. Because it bit you twice.
Strength down by 1. And I need to make another con save?
Yep, because it bit you twice.
That's a little better. That's a 12.
Nope. So that second bite inflicted 8 points of poison damage and saps 1 more point of strength.
Okay, this is not looking good, you guys.
And these bites, they're little nips compared to what happened to Vofok and Kelutar there. But it feels very foul, like just a pile of compost, like rotting vegetation. Like it feels so diseased. The skin, where it bites you, immediately you just feel it kind of start to wilt and crack. And you have an action, but you are in range of it. So if you try to run without disengaging, it gets 3 attacks of opportunity.
Right, yeah, that's not a thing that I want to happen. So... When I saw Ben run off, was he just
You know where Ben is. Ben ran behind this rock. He's hiding in these trees, and you know where he is, but you don't think the monster does.
Okay, I am going to fling a Mercury Petrify grenade at this thing.
Okay. That is a roll to hit.
Okay. I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know what
just like with the log, just add your dex mod. No proficiency bonus.
Where'd my dice go? Okay, so that's a 16 plus 5, so that's 21.
Yep, that'll do it. And these make a strength save. And you throw this grenade, and it splashes on its midsection where the 3 necks come together. And you see the liquid harden and solidify, but it doesn't seem to take effect. The monster definitely noticed it got hit with something. Like its heads kind of fan out for a moment and look down to investigate what happened. And you see, like, it doesn't have muscles, but you see the rippling vines where its quote-unquote muscles would be tensing and relaxing. The petrification does not seem to take hold.
Bonus action. Engage. All right, so I'm going to use my cunning action to disengage.
Okay.
And he's just going to catch up to me if I. Shit. Going to go 1, 2. Can't really get very far, but I'm going to try to back away from it a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I got left. I don't have much else I can do right now.
Are you sure?
I'm looking. Definitely looking.
Can I suggest something?
I would also like to suggest something.
Well, I haven't. You know what? Actually, I take that back. I do have something I can do.
Well, first the monster spins around. It's going to bite at you again.
Okay, fine.
It's going to make a meal of you.
How much HP you got left, Zook?
56.
I would be more worried about his strength.
Yeah, it's
score.
not the HP he's got to be worried about. 1 hit. Zook, your dex is too high.
Good.
11 damage from the bite, and make the con save.
There.
And
Lucky
you lose-
dice.
Lucky die? I would if I were you as well.
Shit.
11 damage from the bite, 3 damage from the poison, and lose 1 more point of strength.
My turn again.
It is your turn now, as these heads reach down and lash at you, but you get your rapier out, and you're slashing like crazy, trying to keep them away from you. One of them nips you on the leg, and you feel that same burning sensation, that stinging of diseased venom in your leg.
Okay. Flashbang grenade.
Okay?
I close my eyes and fling a flashbang grenade.
Okay.
Does it not see? Is it blinded?
Your eyes are closed. And you hear the loud flashbang,
And then
and
I
you
say,
hear some, oh, you know what? You need to make a save. You need to make Constitution save DC 15. Or be blinded. Otherwise you don't hear shit.
Okay.
Wait, what? He needs to be blind or be blinded, otherwise he doesn't hear things?
No, this flashbang blinds and deafens.
That's
So
fine. I don't care.
He's got his eyes closed, but I need to make sure he's deafened. Are you deafened?
I'm deafened.
Okay. You feel vibrations in the ground, like the thing is writhing about. Like it's moving very quickly.
And then, as soon as I throw the thing, I say to myself, the magic words, Lulupiho, Luluwile.
There you go.
You can't do both. It takes an action to activate the talisman.
So, I'm pretty sure item use is one of the bonus actions you can take.
Yeah,
because you're awesome.
Yeah, I can do that with my bonus action.
You have a rogue ability that lets you do that, then that's fine.
That's
Well,
actually one of the awesomest things rogues can do.
Yeah, so if
Yeah.
you can do that as a bonus action, you're fine.
I believe
I
I
thought
can
it
do
said
that.
item use. I'm looking it up right now, but
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that was part of it.
I can do a dex move, which I don't know if saying
No.
something would count.
Activating magic words is not a dex-based move.
Okay, it says I can dash, disengage, hide, or dex with the cunning action.
Okay.
Then no, you cannot use cunning action to activate the talisman.
Okay.
It does require an action to do that.
Gonna boogie my ass away from there then.
Okay, it does get attacks of opportunity unless you disengage.
I'm disengaging.
You are? Okay. After you're done moving, do you open your eyes?
Yeah.
Okay, you open your eyes, and you definitely see the monster. It's like spinning around on its legs. You definitely blinded it. You're not sure for how long.
Okay.
And roll me a stealth check. Make it at advantage.
Or just in case I crit. 19 plus 9 is 28, plus another 4 is 32.
Okay. Holy shit, dude. You
I did
hear,
a lot to stealth.
over here in these trees, you hear the sounds of twigs snapping, branches breaking, like something stomping through that direction. The monster hears this as well. And blind, it starts tromping off in the trees and starts lashing down at the ground, pulling up rocks, bits of earth. Your move.
I say my magic words.
And you vanish.
And
how
I
long?
run Oh, that's a good question. I forget what the check is on it.
I mean, it's going to be a number of minutes, so it's going to encompass this whole combat, I'm sure.
Yeah, I might as well do it just in case I need it after the combat. It is 2d4. Let me grab that real quick. Damn it! Tabletop, cooperate with me tonight. So that'll be
6 minutes?
6 minutes.
Yeah, so you'll be invisible for the rest of the encounter easily. As long as you don't attack from invisibility, you'll be fine.
Alright, it looks like I can scoot all the way behind this rock. So I boogie my invisible happy ass over here, and I want to be able to see Ben, but I also don't want to reveal myself, so...
If you look very, very carefully, you can see Ben from your position, but you can only see him because you already knew where he was. He is very good at hiding. Do you hide?
Oh yeah, absolutely, I'm hiding.
Roll a stealth check.
I don't get to keep that sweet 32?
No, that was momentary. That was to see if you could beat its passive perception.
Well, that's not as good, but I got all kinds of bonuses. 13 plus 4, so I got 17 on that one.
How far did you move?
10 spaces.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't engaged, so I can do 10 spaces and then hide, basically.
Okay. Over the course, unless you intervene, over the course of the next few minutes, I mean, the monster immediately regains its vision. When it comes back to the fire pit, and it looks around, and it can't see either of you, and it moves over, and begins to make a meal of the deer that you shot, and of both of your companions.
God damn it, Banana!
Over the course of the next few minutes, this monster just devours all the meat, and the half-orc, and the 9-foot-tall man. And only after its hunger is sated does it start to move off.
And
Whose banana was this?
They were very clearly dead. Like
they were
as
dead.
Soon as he got them. Yeah, they were not.
This was my banana.
Of course it was.
In my defense, I didn't foresee it having 3 heads, and I was very careful to say 1 creature.
Now wait. It says, in the night, the hunting party is attacked by a creature from the poison forest. We're Nausicaa-ing this bitch. So,
I thought they were gonna fight it off and it was gonna be awesome!
oh, is that what you thought?
See, I was thinking Mononoke, but okay, Nausicaa, that works.
Yeah, it's more Mononoke, yeah.
The problem is Zook is not very good in a one-on-one fight. If he has no one meleeing a thing, he's not going to be able to do much
You had
damage.
3 guys with you,
Guys,
I didn't know 2 of them would die in the first round.
Vofok
that was
and
pretty good.
I had to make a snap decision because none of these characters had stats, but Vofok and Kelutur would have been very low-level rangers, so they did not have the hit points to survive this attack.
I was assuming...
Do you intervene while this monster feeds on everything? Ben does not. Ben does not move a muscle.
To be completely honest, I would probably be watching Ben's lead, and if Zook knew they were dead, which I'm guessing, I mean, you said they were dead. Like, not like knocked out, no making...
Vofok had a huge part of his midsection torn out, and Kelutar had an arm basically dangling by flesh. So there was really no hope for them.
Yeah.
Was this the half-orc and the giant dude?
Yep.
Yes!
Yeah.
That's them.
I was gonna try to
I
ride
was
on
gonna
his
hit on
shoulders
the
later.
giant dude, man. Fuck.
So,
Totally ruined that.
So, no, I mean, I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna gibber and I'm gonna try to not make any noise while I cry very softly to myself.
and no, it makes it, after it's done feeding, it makes it attempt to find you, but it can't. It just can't. And eventually it saunters off, and you hear the sound of it stomping through the woods, heading back towards the wall. And that's
So,
the end of the
for
combat.
reference, my idea that I did not suggest was Necklace of Fireballs.
Oh, fuck, I have one of those, don't I?
That would have been really good.
Oh man.
Oh, god damn
Womp
it.
womp.
Anyway,
I forgot
Ben
to
comes
add
out of
that
the
to
woods.
my attack slots. I just have that in my equipment. God damn it.
Ben comes out of his hiding spot over to where you are. Actually, no, he doesn't know where you are. You just vanish without a trace. So he actually steps over towards the fire, towards the shreds of remnants of his 2 mates, and I mean, this thing ate almost every antlers and all. It left a couple shreds of cloth and smears of blood on the grass, and he moves over there and he drops to his knees and he begins to mourn.
Zook will let his invisibility down, or how, I don't know if he just has to wait it out or what, but
No, you can drop it.
yeah, Zook drops his invisibility and limps his weak ass over there.
And when Ben sees you limping over, he stands up and he looks surprised. Zook, thank God. I thought I had got you as well.
No, I escaped barely.
I've never seen his like. Never in all my years.
You have no idea where that thing was or where it came from?
I mean, he looks like he's in shock, like he's never seen it before. And you see the wounds he's suffered, and you can tell that he's also suffering from his loss of strength. Like the venom is taking hold of him as well.
We need to get back to the town and get to my cleric, someone who can heal us before this poison kills us.
He nods.
Have a name.
He says,
I know, but he doesn't know you, so I'm saying I have a cleric friend.
he nods and he says,
Like,
if we
You
move,
could reincarnate him as a half-elf.
if we move swiftly and through the night, we could be there, back at the wall in maybe 3 hours. And he looks, he's out of breath. Like, this is a man with a lot of skill. He's very high level ranger. He can hold his own, but his age is taking a toll.
Right.
And I mean, right now he also looks grief stricken. Like,
Yeah, and I, you know, briefly I put my hand on his shoulder and I say,
you're not tall enough to do that. Oh no, he can drop to his knees. You're fine.
He's on his knees. I thought he's mourning. I climb on his shoulder. No, and I express like my sadness that I wasn't able to save them. I tried to draw the creature off. I tried to get him away, but there was just nothing we could do. It was too quick. It was too strong.
And he shakes his head and says, "It's not your fault. So we need to move quickly."
Okay, we'll go quiet. We'll go quiet and stealthily.
Okay,
throughout
well,
the
that's
night.
Think about it this way. At least we have a good reason to go into the poison forest now.
Yeah, I'm not going to be there for that probably.
Here in morning.
Stealth check. 6 and 9 is 15 plus 4 is a 19.
Okay.
It's not your fault, Zook. It's not like you had a necklace of fireballs.
Shut up.
It's not like you spent a banana.
You know
Well,
what?
here's the thing. He was standing on top of my friends. I couldn't have necklace a fireballed him anyhow before he ate them.
This is true.
So while Zook
Damn
is
you and your
limping
logic.
ass back to town, who has not done a dream seer that wants to do one?
Me.
me.
Okay.
Rangers.
Does anybody have to leave soon? Does anybody need to have a press need to go first?
No, I can go last if people need to.
No, I don't.
So,
you know what? Actually, I know it's out of sequence, but I actually kind of need to go pretty soon.
well, you don't get a dream seer anyway because you were out hunting.
Oh, okay.
That was the most violent banana yet. Holy shit!
Don't try to push that off on the banana user.
Oh, I did.
No,
I
it's totally
did.
banana users.
Word for word, in the night the hunting party is attacked by a creature from the poison forest.
I didn't realize you were a fucking dick genie.
You didn't?
How would you not?
Wait, hold on.
Nodal,
You-
he's a GM. He's the enemy.
were you in that goblin tower last week? like,
Oh.
When are you going to learn this? He is the enemy.
So Nick sent me a message. He's like, I have a feeling this is turning into the J. Walter Weatherman of bananas.
okay, hold on 1 second here.
So 2 awesome NPCs dead.
I thought you were going to work. Okay. Arik,
In a minute. I'm not
Yes.
quite there yet.
the dream you have under the effects of the tea and down in your cold cell and whatnot, you're standing on the deck of the Honor on Tarin's ship, and you see in the distance a pirate vessel, and you come up on it. I mean, you have a letter of marque for these waters. So you come up on this ship flying pirate colors, and as you get closer, you realize the colors they're flying are those of the pirates that murdered your family. And Tarin pulls up, they launch the ballistas, they deal heavy damage, Zook's up in the crow's nest flinging petrification grenades. And you all board the vessel, and you look around and you realize every one of these pirates is one of the crewmen. You know their faces, you know them instinctively. And the captain as well. And some of them are killed in the melee, but the captain and some of the mates of the pirate crew, Tarin takes them all prisoner and brings them down below deck and says that they're going to take them back to Dunfoss, where they will stand trial for piracy. And that night, you go down to the brig. You have your glaive in one hand, and you have an instrument of torture in the other hand that I will leave up to everyone's imagination. And you move the iron bar away from the brig, and you open the door, and all of these pirates are bound to the floor, unable to move or resist. And do priests get like a silence spell?
Yeah.
You prayed for this spell, for Osprey to give you a spell to create a cone of silence so you can be undisturbed. You close the door to the brig behind you, and you spend hours working these people over, each of them in turn, doing unspeakable things to them, and the delight you feel is overwhelming. The euphoria you feel is overwhelming. And only when you see through the cracks of wood, when you sense the dawn is breaking, do you finally go through and end each of their lives in turn. And as the last one dies, you hear the scream escape his lips as your silence spell dissipates. In one hand, you are holding this torture implement, in the other you're holding this trident. The one that you used to wield before you found a glaive that was better. And as you look around at the carnage that you've wrought, and you reflect on how great it felt, the trident starts to burn in your hands. And you drop it, and it clatters to the ground, and you have this great burn mark on your hands. And then the armor you're wearing in starts to feel very hard. You start tearing at the leather straps that keep it together, and you throw your armor to the ground, and you realize the vestments that you're wearing, the holy symbol that you wear around your neck, the chains are burning into your flesh, and all of these things you tear off and throw to the ground. And though you still feel this euphoria from taking vengeance on these pirates, you look down at all the things on the ground, and they start to melt away into a pile of salt. Then you wake up. Orphan, what was your dream?
Let me see why I wrote it down. Okay, so I had a dream that I was sitting. This was sitting in the classroom, and there were student chairs all around me, listening to a lecture that Nal Kantar was giving. And I can't understand the lecture, and when I try to speak, no one acknowledges my presence. And eventually, I look all around me, and I see that behind me, the thing that I saw in Nal Kantar's orb has killed and eaten 2 students, and it's gnawing on the third, who is trying to scream but can't as he dies.
Wait, what has killed 2 students?
The demonic thing that I saw in the orb. Remember when he invited me to like put my hand on the orb or something?
Right.
And I saw this demonic being in Nal Kantar's place. So
okay.
That thing is killing students.
Okay. And that's the extent of the dream?
That's where the dream ends.
Okay. Now, as I recall, the thing you saw in the orb was like a humanoid jackal of some kind. And in the dream, Nal Kantar is giving his speech, and you turn around and you see this monster, and at first it looks like it's ravaging these students. It looks like it's tearing at its flesh with its jaws and its claws. But you look back at Nal Kantar, and his voice has faded out by this point. And it has, like, you can no longer even hear the words of the lecture. And when you look back, you realize that the thing that's clawing at these students, and it's not just any students, he's specifically clawing at, well, one of them is a nameless student. The other one is the UDOT girl that he took under his tutelage.
Yeah.
And you realize they're still being clawed, they're being mauled, but they don't look like they're in pain. They don't look like they're being ravaged or eaten. And you look back at Kantar, and he's continuing his lecture, and when you look back this time, now the creature, you notice, he's not mauling with claws and jaws, he's marking them. He's scratching their flesh with his fangs and his claws in a way to put arcane designs in their skin. You turn back, and Kantar is still giving the lecture. When you turn back again, you notice that the creature is wearing some of Kantar's clothes. They're wearing his spectacles and his hat. And you realize that the two students are beginning to take on these jackal-like forms. They're beginning to grow fur where they didn't have it, and their faces start to elongate into a snout. Their hands start to grow claws of their own, and that's when you wake up.
Okay.
And the two of you were called in, so you can have dreams analyzed. Assuming you don't want privacy for them.
No, that's all right.
Arik, no objection?
Yeah, no objection.
Okay. So yeah, Orphan, you're... Thirdak relates Eric's dream about brutally torturing and murdering a pirate crew that Tarin was going to bring to justice. And the Great Seer tells you that your dream, Arik, reflects a very primal urge, a very primal wish for revenge, and reflects that the burning sensation you felt from the holy implements that you wear, your armor, your holy symbol, it was your god rejecting you out of anger. But what's interesting about the dream is that the rejection didn't begin until you began to revel in the feeling of it. And he says this with the understanding neither the Great Seer nor I have any great in-depth knowledge of Osprey or her convictions, but the meting out of this justice in whichever way you seek to meet it would not be against her teachings. A goddess of the ocean, and the ocean is a place of much violence and much unfairness. But the reveling in it, the causing of joy, the giving into the sensation of wanting to do it, that would be your downfall. He says if you come across these villains from your past and you do to them what you must, but know that it has to come from a place of preventing them from bringing this evil upon others, and not from a place of joyful revenge.
Arik kind of blinks at that, a little surprised.
And then Orphan. This is the Great Seer says your dream is very straightforward. He says this thing, this Nal Kantar, is not human, and is a great danger to the students in his tutelage. The nature of this being is not known to the Great Seer, but I know precisely what he is, given the description and given how he acts. So you're dealing with an Arcanoloth. It's a demon from one of the planes of evil. And it seeks to corrupt mortals by offering them great power, often through spellcasting abilities, such as a Warlock would. He says, and any students studying under his tutelage run a great risk of falling prey to the evil that he represents. He says, I would tread very carefully around this villain.
I'll ask. Do you think that the dream means it's too late for?
The dream means that the corruption has already begun. That he has granted powers to a number of his students, one of which is known to you, yes?
Yes.
Whether these students will become corrupted by his evil, or whether they will use this power to stand against him, only time will tell. He says, I know that you believe that all things are inevitable, but I believe you may be able to stop it, if it has already begun.
All right.
Any other questions for Fairdak or the Great Seer?
Not from me.
Okay.
No, none here.
That is where I'm going to call the session for tonight.
Okay.
Now that we've killed all of Zook's favorite NPCs.
And almost Zook.
And almost Zook.
Yeah. Great banana. Great banana, Nodal.
I'm sorry. I feel bad.
No, you don't. You
shouldn't
do
feel
not.
bad.
You do not.
mean,
No,
If
I
was-
do.
Oh no!
I didn't
I'm
mean
sorry.
for
I'm
this to
sorry.
happen.
I'm sorry. There's one more thing.
Yes.
You guys wake up that day to go to your Dream Seers. Nobody's seen Mock. Nobody's seen hide nor hair of him since yesterday. That's where we're one of the session.
Oh, what
Which
about
one is
my
Mock?
nightmare spell?
Oh,
he's
your
the guy
nightmare
who's-
spell. I'm sorry.
He's trying to commission the great axe from
Oh,
the
okay.
dwarf.
So what kind of
The
shape?
other evil dude.
What kind of shape do you give this nightmare?
That of a vengeful Flumph.
A vengeful flump. And what's the message?
We know what you're up to.
And he gets to make a whiz save. Yes, and he rolled
With
a
disadvantage.
Oh, he rolled a 2 on the first one. Do you want me to roll the second one?
No, that's okay. He can just take the psychic
He rolls
damage
a
and not get
20
his
on the
spells back
second one.
Today.
Yeah. So you you deliver the message. We know what you're up to.
Are you gonna cast it every single night until he just dies from exhaustion?
You know?
That would be the best way to ruin Brickroot's entire campaign.
I have a feeling if you
We just track him down and he's fucking in a bed dead.
looks like the dude from Seven, just
Yeah.
laying on the bed.
I can cast that 3 times a night if I want.